I'm William Lee Cowden. I'm a medical doctor. I've been in practice for 35 years until I retired in 2019. And I was doing internal medicine and cardiology. We were homeschooling our daughter in the office. It was so busy. My wife had to come in and help me out in the office. In 1994, my wife developed breast cancer and unstable angina pectoris. That means she could have had a heart attack at any moment. And then also, I developed unstable angina pectoris and prostate cancer and colon cancer. So between the two of us, we had 5 potentially fatal illnesses all at the same time. And we thought, we're fools. We could die the same day, and our daughter would have to raise herself, 13 years old. Not a good plan. When we first found out that we both had cancer at the same time, we were a bit shocked. But when we really examined it truthfully, we said, oh, very, very little wonder that we both have cancer, because we're eating takeout food all the time. We're not getting enough sleep. We're not getting enough exercise. We're not getting enough fresh air and sunshine. We're abusing our bodies. We're exposing ourselves to all this anger and frustration and other negative emotions continuously. We were working 6 days a week, 12 hours a day, and you just shouldn't do that. It's not God's plan. So I felt that we had good prospects, good hope, because my wife had pancreatic cancer in 1989, and so we knew that we could reverse these conditions of cancer that we had with natural means, because we did it in 1989. And so we put all the equipment and all the furniture into a storage unit and closed the doors. And then we went about recovering our health. I realized that the frustration of the things in the practice, some from colleagues, some from patients, was a big contributor. So the anger, frustration had to be resolved. And so I went out and did some visualization and shouting. We worked on resolving the other emotional conflicts that were present in both of us. We changed our diet, cleaned up our diet. Our diet was terrible at that time. We were eating a lot of takeout food. And so we started eating real food from the perimeter of the grocery store. I started taking enzymes 30 minutes before food with water only, and asked my wife to do the same thing. Took a lot of vitamin C, a lot of other supplemental nutrients. Between all of that, without any surgery, radiation, or chemotherapy, all of our fatal illnesses were gone in about 4 or 5 months. And I thought, this is good. This is very good. And I thought, I would be a fool to go back into the practice the way it was. And so I thought, I need to do something else. And about that time, a friend called me from California and said, I want to put an integrative clinic down in Puerto Vallarta, Mexico. I said, that sounds almost like a vacation. Sign me up. I just have to have enough money to pay my bills. He said, I can cover your bills. So I did that for about a year, and then came back to Dallas to do something in patient care again. So we started seeing patients 1 day a week, and after a couple of months, we decided that we weren't even breaking a sweat. And so we decided to open up a second day. And so we were seeing patients on Monday and Wednesday, and when I got Mondays and Wednesdays filled up, I realized that I was making the same take-home pay that I had when I had $65,000 a month overhead in the practice, 9,000 square feet of office space to pay every month, whether I saw patients or not, and 20 employees, and all that grief, all that stress, anger, and frustration. And so I said, okay, this is a better way to go. So I never looked back. I continued to do that for the rest of my work. As I said, it took about 4 or 5 months to get before I felt like I was fully healthy again. And so then I went to a colleague and did a complete reevaluation to see how I was doing. Normal stress test, normal EKG, normal, blood test, no more CEA elevation, which was elevated in the beginning when I had the colon cancer, and no more PSA elevation, which was elevated when I had the prostate cancer. And so I thought, I'm probably free of disease. So that was a relief, a tremendous relief. And we reevaluated my wife at that time, and she no longer had the tumor marker for breast cancer, CA 15-3 or 27.29, whichever one we did at that time. and she also, was able to, walk fast, not get short of breath. We didn't do a stress test on her, but, so you say, okay, thank you, God. Praise you, God, for, healing five potential fatal illnesses. In 1994, when I had the unstable angina pectoris and the prostate cancer and the colon cancer, and I realized that a large part of that was emotions, and a large part of that was anger, I said, I need to resolve this. And so I did, work on the acute anger that I had from the practice and the colleagues that were turning me into the medical board and things like that at the same time. And I realized another thing, though, is that I had still unresolved anger, frustration toward my own father. And so I said, I need to do something to get rid of that. I'm going to let God, go with me there and take the benefit of whatever's there. I never heard my father say, I love you, until I had come back from college a changed man, having accepted Christ. And I, first time I came back from college, I went up and just put my arms around him, hugged him, and I didn't know if he was going to melt or run away or what, because it was such a foreign thing for him. But every time I came home, I did that same thing again, and I would say, I love you. And about the third time I came home, he said, I love you too. And so that's the first time I ever heard from him, I love you, in my life. And those were really good words to hear. I realized that my dad was a product of his bringing up. His father was probably an emotionally wounded man, and therefore wounded my father, and my father therefore wounded me. So it goes generation to generation. And so after that day, I never saw my dad the same way. I saw him with compassion, with kind of feeling sorry for him, not feeling angry toward him, and that changed my heart toward him, and it was a really good thing. Once we accept Christ, we have a perfect Father, and that perfect Father helps to fill in the gaps where our imperfect Father failed.